right, well, first question, is this Fergie's weakest championship winning side or his most underrated?
Probably his most underrated, I think. I think he's got enough people, enough players in the squad, but not enough stars, so to speak. He had to bring in one more star, which was Van Persie, at the end of last season after losing out to City. And it was the final piece in the jigsaw that he needed. And they've won it at a canter without performing consistently well, as we hoped United would perform with the players that they've got. But, I mean, to win it before 4 games to go is quite, it's a great achievement for him.
I think it's one of the strongest squads. I don't know whether it's the strongest 11, but in terms of, you've got squad players who can come in and look great. You've got people like Hernandez on the bench, who's so dangerous, wins your key games, and players like Phil Jones just come. If you look at the centre backs, Vidic and Ferdinand have been great when they played together, but then Jones and Evans have been. These are great players. They're fantastic. They're just the general technical ability of United when they're playing as a team is great, but the rest of the league has been rubbish, and City have been appalling. I mean, City have been. It's like they didn't show up till the last month or so. It's crazy.
I think this is Ferguson's greatest achievement this year. I think when you look at their midfield, especially when you compare their midfield now to the midfield in 1999, none of them would get near the squad, let alone the first team, and they've won the league by an absolute mile. They've absolutely cruised it. They've got no star players. They've relied on Van Persie's goals. Every good team relies on 1 or 2 good players. But I don't know how he's done it. After turning it around last year, when you look at the money Man City have spent, everyone thought they were going to go on a roll and dominate English football for a few years. They haven't done it, and Ferguson's a genius, absolute genius.
I think the Balotelli situation hurt City loads. I think Mancini tried to deal with him. And Balotelli's one of those guys who he does win you big games. He imposes his personality. He helped turn United over last year. He's just dangerous, and they've lacked that element of danger, really, City, this season. And also, he's good for a laugh as well, isn't he? Just have him around as long as possible. I mean, I miss him. Do you know what I mean? I miss the antics.
It's an interesting parallel as well between the way Ferguson's handled the Rooney situation, yes, all the fallout from his exclusion from the Champions League, and the way that things have been going on at Man City. And perhaps that's a key to why one team has been successful this year and the other one's been completely...
I mean, Mancini does moan a little bit, doesn't he? His body language gets a bit negative, and that has to impact on the players a bit. Company was injured for a long time, and Ferguson just keeps it all in-house, isn't he? I mean, he's just the winningest manager in history, isn't he? The guy, he's incredible. The guy's incredible.
Attitude's the difference. Mancini essentially said that City didn't play this season with the right attitude. United was so motivated by the way they lost the title last year. Last kick of the season, pretty much, Aguero's goal. And it's like I say, it's not a great side, but they're great champions, and that's why they do it so often. That's why they've won 20 titles.
But with City, though, I don't think he knows his best 11. Yeah. I really don't know. I don't think, like, Fergie's knows which his best at least 10 is.
Yes.
When they're everyone's fit, everyone's ready. I don't think Mancini does. I mean, he bought Scott Sinclair in from Swansea, he don't play him.
Yes.
He's bought Rodwell in from Everton, don't play him. Why buy these players for a lot of money and you don't end up not playing them? You must think that they're going to be part of your first 11, and I believe you don't know what his best 11 is.
And yet City against United this season have looked good and looked strong. I mean, City against United at Old Trafford recently, they dominated United. They're all over them. They've got so much technical ability and strength, but they just cannot. They just can't do it against the teams that you've got to win against.
All right. So apart from Samir Nasri, who would be the key man for United this year?
Well, it's got to be Van Persie, hasn't it? I mean, in terms of just absolute difference. I mean, we needed a marquee player to come in and score 20-odd goals and important goals, and he has done that. And it's got to be Van Persie.
City wanted Van Persie last year.
Yes,
Mancini wanted to sign him, and if Van Persie had gone to Manchester City, we wouldn't be having this conversation now. I think City would have won the league again, and United would have been nowhere near as potent as they have been this season, especially before Christmas. He wasn't just scoring the 5th goal in a 5-0 win. He was scoring important goals, and he had a little lull after Christmas, but he's come back at the end and started scoring goals again. But he's been the difference this season, and I think we thought he would be. He came from Arsenal's captain. He was Player of the Year last year. Ferguson knew he had to do something big last summer, and he did it.
For him to pick United ahead of City as well. I mean, the City were offering him far more money than United were going to.
It was his inner child, the inner child.
He knew that he was going to win things consistently to the end of his career.
RVP, the MVP then, an underrated player, one who perhaps hasn't been singled out?
The player I think has been most important to United this season has been Rio Ferdinand. When you look back to the first few months of the season, United were worryingly conceding a lot of early goals, first goals in games, almost on a weekly basis. They had Nemanja Vidic, their captain, injured. They've got young players in the squad like Phil Jones, like Raphael. And Rio has been absolutely huge this season. He's managed to manage his injury problems really well. And especially since Christmas, when they've been playing in second gear, they've barely got out of second gear. They coasted to the title. And Rio really sorted the defence out. And he's been my player.
He's also been very prominent on Twitter, hasn't he? He's been quite good on his Twitter feed. So he lays out some good tunes for his skill run on the morning as well, so he's to be commended. I think definitely Ferdinand's been massive, and also Carrick as well. Again, but is he underrated? I think he's been there. He's been picked. He's in his first 11, isn't he? He keeps the game ticking over in possession, and such a tidy player. He's part of that United. So hard to get them gigs. These players. Phil Jones, though, in terms of Phil Jones next season is going to be massive for him, I think.
Right. Okay. Anyone who's caught your eye, Neil?
I think Raphael's done well this year. I really do, because he was a fiery little person.
Yes.
He used to dive in and get booked, and then obviously get sent off a couple of times as well. I think he's settled down. Right. He still loses it every so often, but his defensive duties have got far better this season, I think. Because he used to be great going forward, and then he used to get caught going down. Yeah. People used to get in behind him. He's improved that, I think.
All right, one final thing. Do you think the fact that the exit against Real Madrid occupied the headlines so much, occupied so much attention, is that why the end of the season seemed a little bit flat for Man United?
I think it's just been too easy for them. Right. I think the league is, it's not, when you compare it to last season's drama and the bedlam on that last day of the season, it's been, it's just been too easy for them, and people have been taking for granted for the last couple of months that United have had the title wrapped up. But it's hard not to, but we shouldn't take anything away from the achievement. No,
it's been awesome. It's been more of a reflection of maybe poor quality surrounding them. But I mean, you can see the players are just as excited about winning it again, which is why they're so good. The mentality, it's a trickle-down thing from Ferguson, isn't it? It's all about, they just want to win it. They're in it to win it, and they'll be just as excited to start next season.